We're reading everyone a bedtime story tonight. Where I'm just gonna have this in the background for ambiance. Right now, though, we're reading a bedtime story. As soon as I do a few things first. Just a little thing. Nice little bedtime story for everyone before they go to sleep tonight. For all those people who are, well, up this late. We're reading something from Reddit. Just a little something from Reddit for everyone. Nice, relaxing, bedtime story for everyone. Before we get started, I'd like to thank Reddit for providing this wonderful story. The story is about a little boy and his father typing a letter to Santa. I know it's past Christmas, but it's a bit of a long one. It's a bit more terrifying than one might think. Just a little bit more for everyone. Nice, relaxing, calm bedtime story, which I shall start reading now. Story is by Summer and Tinkles. Story is called I Emailed My Son's Christmas List to Santa. I didn't expect to get a response. I want some Hot Wheels, a stuffed iguana, and my 6-year-old Jeff sat on the bed next to me, thinking. I was typing up my son's Christmas list on my laptop, preparing to email it to Santa. Of course, I was merely going to send it to myself. I didn't trust any of those email addresses claimed to be run by the real Santa. I wanted to play it safe just in case some creep was trying to use my parents' email addresses to stalk their children. Is that it? Asked Jeff. He was always a low-maintenance child and never demanded a whole lot. Jeff nodded. That's all I can think of, he said. I smiled and sent the email before closing my laptop. Now we just need to wait until Christmas morning, I told Jeff. He smiled as he jumped off my bed and ran off to play with his toys. Next morning, while Jeff was at school, I checked my email and was surprised to see a message titled, Your Son's Christmas List, from an address I didn't recognize. I opened it up. Hi, Christina. I saw your son's Christmas list and there's no need to buy those Hot Wheels or that stuffed iguana yourself like with last year's gifts. I can send it right to you, and you can give it to him on Christmas. I can also confirm Jeff has been a good boy this year. One of the best I've seen. Signed, Santa Claus. Ho ho ho. I was confused. What was this? How do they know my name or email? How do they know my son's name, for that matter? Or what he wanted? I told myself it was just one of my friends from work playing along. That was it. Yesterday, I had chatted with some of my friends over texting about what our kids wanted for Christmas. So one of them had probably just made a new account to add to the fun. I deleted the email and went back to my usual business. Shortly after Christmas break began, I sent Jeff over to a friend's house while I went to the store and bought the toys he had asked for, along with some wrapping paper. After heading home, I checked my email again and noticed a new message from the same mysterious address that had emailed me last time. Hi, Christina. I saw you went out and bought the gifts that I said I'd be bringing myself. That's okay. I'll bring my own surprise gift for Jeff instead. See, I've been a little short on elves this season, and I've been looking for new recruits to help me make toys. Jeff is such a good little boy. He'll make a perfect elf. Hope you don't mind me taking him up to the North Pole on Christmas Day. I promise I'll bring him down every now and then to visit. Signed, Santa Claus. Ho, ho, ho. My heart sank. I hadn't told any of my co-workers about this. Something weird was definitely going on. I decided to write a response back, angrily demanding whoever this person was to tell me who they were, why they were stalking me and my son, and informing them to stay the fuck away from us, or I would call the police. A few days went by with no response. I felt relieved, thinking the guy had finally got the memo and decided to leave us alone. And I completely forgot about it until Christmas Day. While Jeff was asleep during the night of the 24th, I wrapped up the presents and put them under the trees as per tradition. Next morning, while I was still in bed, I expected to hear Jeff excitedly shouting from the living room that Santa came. I was surprised to hear absolutely nothing. Not a single peep. I checked the clock. It was 8 in the morning. Strange. I'd usually expect Jeff to be up earlier than that, especially since it was the happiest time of the year for a child. A few minutes passed and I quickly became concerned. I decided to go downstairs to Jeff's room and check up on him to see if he was okay. I knocked on his door before cautiously peeking in. He was laying in his bed, blanket pulled up to his head, and his back facing me. "Jeff?" I asked. He replied with a weird grunting sound. Was he sick? I walked over to him and rubbed his head. "Jeff, get up, Santa came." I stopped when I felt a pair of weird bumps on his head, buried underneath his hair. Jeff then turned his head to me, and I jumped in shock. His ears were pointed and curved in his hair. His face was stretched out like a dog's muzzle. He grunted again and stuck one arm out in front under the blankets. Instead of a hand on the end, there was a furry brown hoof, like that of a goat. My face turned pale as I stared in shock, unable to speak or move upon seeing my son's current state. At that moment I heard a knock on the door. I ran upstairs desperately, hoping it was one of my friends from work who could help. I looked through the peephole and noticed an unfamiliar figure standing at the door. He was overweight with a red jacket and a long white beard. Thankfully, I had locked the door, so the man couldn't come in even if he wanted to. I remembered the weird emails from this month, so I pulled out my phone and opened up my web browser. There was an email from last night, sent from the mysterious address. I opened it up, and what I saw nearly made me faint. I just stood there, reading the message over and over again, trying to process everything as the man at the door continued to knock. Hi, Christina. Since you turned down my request to make Jeff into one of my elves, I decided Jeff would make a good reindeer instead. My current reindeer are getting too old to pull the sleigh, and I just need one more kid to complete my new team. I'll be coming over tomorrow morning to pick him up. Signed, Santa Claus. Ho, ho, ho. Damn, that was rough. How'd everyone like that story? For the one person in chat. For the one person in chat right now. I think I'm gonna read another one for you. If I read one more, possibly two. Let's see. This one's a little more recent. This was made 3 days ago by Bourne Beach. It's entitled "The World Ended on January 1st, 2022. It happened late. I suppose these things always do. The end of the world isn't exactly a rise and shine up operation, you know? It's a big decision. Nuclear war. You think you're ready to drop the bombs, but then you figure it's probably best to sleep on it. And you wake up and think, maybe, just maybe, well, we'll first see how the day plays out. Maybe somebody convinces you not to press the button. Maybe the world gives you a reason it shouldn't go up in smoke. Like the stock market, like the riots in the streets, like the futures of an entire generation. Maybe there are no reasons. Maybe starting fresh is all that's left, and cleaning humanity off of this rock is the only truly moral choice left to make. I don't know. All I know is it's been a week since I ran to the bunker alone, forced to leave my family behind. If that sounds callous, then just know it wasn't me who abandoned them. They abandoned me. They were disbelievers, all of them. They called me crazy for building the bunker. Called me insane for stockpiling canned rations 10 feet under the dirt. I tried to explain to them that we were running out of time. That if they cared enough to open their eyes, there were signs that the end was coming. But to them, that was just noise. More chatter from a lunatic. They stuck their noses up at me all the way to the end. When the air raid siren sounded, my wife grabbed my son and daughter and screamed at me to leave the house, to never come back. So I did. I left them there. There simply wasn't any time to fight her for the kids. To fight the kids who were wholesale convinced I was a fraud, a liar. The bombs were coming and the bunker was 100 feet away, buried beneath the forest behind our farm. I didn't have a choice, you understand? No choice but to run. So that's just what I did. I ran and ran, with tears in my eyes for my family. And just as I closed the heavy steel door of the bunker, I felt the low rumble of the first explosion, then the next. Like I said, it's been a week. I figure the worst of the fallout has dissipated by now. It'll be just the fires that are left. The fires that there's nobody left to put out. Soon, though, once the flames have extinguished their supply of wooden homes and fuel-laden vehicles, they'll die too. And then the new world will emerge. The dead world. The dark truth is that the nightmare of nuclear Armageddon takes place in 3 stages. The first is what people often assume is to be the worst. The bombs, the explosions, the mushroom clouds, and the screaming and the rutting of the sirens. Truthfully though, that's the easy part. At that stage, just afraid or dead. That's all. After that comes the flames and radiation. They do some damage, maybe more than the bombs when you consider the pain inflicted. But even they pale in comparison to the third stage, the dead world. The strings that tie us together are burned away. There are no rules, there are no customs, there is no humanity. It's chaos, unbridled and hopeless. Raiders roam smoldering city streets, pillaging and raping and torturing for scraps of food. People are rounded up like I hear a band of raiders above me. I've made certain my bunker is well hidden, and it's possible the blasts have swept away the dirt camouflaging my hatch. It's possible I could be found. In moments like these, I'm almost glad my family perished in the blast. I shudder to think what the monsters above would do to them, to my wife and my daughter still. I've covered my bases. The raiders likely arrived to see if there were any animals left alive on the farm, or crops left to reap. They wouldn't be here looking for underground bunkers. Bang, bang, bang. The sound echoes around my bunker like a heart attack. I freeze. Through inches of steel I hear the muffled chorus of humans shouting, moving. There's more shouting. I slink to the wall of my bunker, pick up my rifle and load a round into the chamber. I'm panicking for no reason, I tell myself. I'm making much ado about nothing. Even with a band of raiders, there's simply no way they could break the reinforced steel hatch. Not with a pair of bolt cutters, not even with a welding torch. There's the sound of something clanking on metal like a carabiner, a hook. Did they attach something to the handle? Above me an engine roars to life. Something powerful, a truck maybe, screams as its wheels tear into the dirt and my pulse races. I grip my rifle, raising it toward the hatch, toward the intruders. The hatch shudders. It shudders like it's going to bend, wrap, but instead it snaps clean off. I'm blinded by the afternoon sun. I shield my eyes as best I can, but there's no shielding my lungs from the fallout in the air. I'm armed, I scream, hacking a cough. I'll blow the heads off of any of you fucks that wants to try me. There's a beat of silence. Mr. Fulton? A voice blares over a megaphone. You're under arrest. Come out with your hands up. You think you're gonna make a fool... going to fool me with that spew? I snarl. I cock the rifle and let off a warning shot. Through the open hatch, birds scatter from the trees above. Come any closer and the next bullet's going straight through your heads. Something drops from the hatch. It's small, oval-shaped, and it bounces on the steel floor once, twice before rolling to a stop. It's a metal canister. Smoke hisses out of it. I open my eyes and realize I've been abducted, stolen away. The familiar steel walls of my bunker are gone, replaced with cream wallpaper and drab lightning. Drab lighting? It's an office building. Or at least, it was one before the world went tits up. Where am I? I ask grudgingly. My head is throbbing, vision still blurry from the gas. You're at the precinct. My detective Vanier and I'll be conducting your interview. Interview? The room around me is sparsely furnished. There's nothing between me and the liar but a wooden table, a cup of coffee, and some empty creamer. It's a nice set, but it isn't fooling me. I don't have anything more than what was in that bunker. You hear? So you can call your raiding party back and let me go. Why did you do it? I don't reply. He's fishing for answers, fishing for details he can use to find my backup rations buried out back behind the barn. I won't say a word, though, no matter how much I'm gaslit. What's the matter? The liar says, standing up and adjusting his tie. Was a week not enough time to dream up an alibi? It occurs to me that he's gone through a lot of effort to put up this ruse, to pretend society isn't a fractured, crumbling memory. He's even dressed the part. I don't know what you're talking about, I say. The bombs? The bombs? He snaps. You don't know about the bombs? My mouth twitches. What the hell was his angle? To throw so many competing stories at me that I started questioning my own reality? Of course I know about the bombs, I spit. I've known about the bombs for a long time. Anybody could have seen this coming. His fist hits the table. There's anger in his eyes, rage like I've never seen before. His facade is slipping. How long? Long enough to build a bunker and survive the blast. Your family? My voice dies in my throat. How? I say hoarsely. What the hell gives you the right to talk about my family? Where are they? He's looking for a reaction. He's trying his best to get me emotional, to get me to let my guard down long enough to spill my secrets and tell him about the cash behind the barn. They're dead, I tell him. They died in the blast. The liar masquerading as a detective leans over the prop table. He taps his finger on the surface. What blast? He says. My jaw clenches, my hands fall into fists. I want to leap across the table and slug the motherfucker for invoking my loved ones. For cursing me with the pain of their memory. But then he wins. He knows the key. He knows he can get me talking with the proper stimulation. I'm not talking, I tell him. No, he says. What blast? I don't know, I snapped. I wasn't standing around to count how many bombs fell to point out which one killed my family. But you were standing around when we opened your bunker, weren't you? You saw the trees, the birds. How many nukes hit your farm, do you think? Must be pretty sturdy bird nests. Open my mouth to speak, but the words aren't there. The liar doesn't seem to mind. In fact, it seems he realizes he's found my weak point. He knows I'm breakable now. Fuck. He walks around the table, sizes me up, and stalks over the blind covering the windows. Gives them a tug. For sunlight, it's blinding again. I hear the sound of a window sliding open, and suddenly my ears are assaulted with lies. A symphony of deception. Cars honking, people yelling, street music. And the world comes into focus, and I see just how deep this world comes into deep this act goes. They've set up a projector on the wall. It's a film reel in the old world. With its tall buildings. It's people walking to and from work. And it's cars spitting methane into the air. Took me a week to find your bunker, the liar says. Coming back around to his chair, he slips a laptop from a bag beneath the table. I had to comb through your online activity, match up receipts, call the company that installed your tin can. It took some work, but we figured out where you were hiding it eventually. I don't speak. Their operation is more sophisticated than I expected. Much more, and I can't risk making a misstep. Let me tell you what happened, Mr. Fulton. You fell down a rabbit hole, a deep one of online conspiracy. Convinced yourself the world was ending, that there were psychic vampires living among us, infecting our every level of society. You convinced yourself that the only way to stop them was to start from scratch, and that our world leaders knew this and planned a global nuclear strike for New Year's Day 2022. My body is shaking. As much as I try to pretend his lies aren't affecting me, they are. It's poison to my ears. You're one of them, aren't you? A psychic vampire. Biter, too. I bet since there won't be enough food for you to sustain yourselves on. Not now that humanity is halfway to extinction. The liar gives me a hard look and opens his laptop. He clicks around some, types a bit on the keyboard, then turns the screen around to face me. It's a picture of my house. It's blown to pieces. There's barely anything left but wooden splinters and smoldering ashes from the blast. See this? He taps something on the bottom corner of the image. Some mess of colors of pixels. It's red, pinkish, scattered in several pieces. That's your daughter, he says. My jaw drops. A sinking feeling grows in the pit of my stomach. Unshakable and awful. Still, I knew there would be horror in the aftermath of nuclear war. I also knew it would be a necessary price to pay. He taps another section of the screen. The picture zooms in. Over here, we think this might be a piece of your wife's skull, though it could also be your son's. Their corpses are in so many pieces, it's hard to say which hunk of flesh belongs to who. I don't want to look at this. Put it away. Wait, he tells me. You haven't seen the best part. More tapping, more zooming. This time the pixels are dark. They're something 30 feet away from the rubble of the house. Something gray and familiar. My stomach twists. What's the matter? You set that speaker up, didn't you? Put it right there in the yard. I don't want to be here. This isn't real, it's a lie. All of this is a lie. A sophisticated psyop designed to trick me into emotional vulnerability, staged by psychic vampires to feed off my pain. Yes, that much is clear to me now. This is too sophisticated for the average raider. Sense reality seems to confuse you, Mr. Fulton. Let me tell you what happened. The vampire leans back, a smug smirk on his weasel face. You rigged your own house with enough explosives to sink a battleship. Bombs planted everywhere from under the couch to inside the walls. You set it to blow the day the nukes are supposed to fly. Why? That's simple. Didn't want anybody finding any hints about where your bunker was. Just in case the ICBMs missed your rural slice of butt-fuck nowhere. Didn't want your family above ground, freely able to give away your location to psychic vampires. This is textbook emotional manipulation, a specialty of his breed. I won't let him have his way with me though. I won't let him feed off me. He reaches into his bag and pulls out an old book, a journal. Pick this up in your bunker, Fulton. He flips through the pages, reading through it. You would almost think you gave a damn about your family. After all, the sirens were for them, weren't they? You set them up to play, hoping it'd convince them at long last the nuclear war was well and truly underway. You hoped it'd convince them to follow you into the bunker, to bury them underground so that their thoughts were safe from the attack. From psychic vampires? Yeah, things like you. I spit. You gave them one last test of fate. One last chance to follow you into your rabbit hole of madness. They refused. For that, killed them. You fuck. I say, and my voice is quivering. You're nothing but a lying sack of psychic shit. You think I can't feel you probing my thoughts? Gaslighting me? I wish I was lighting, Mr. Fulton. I really do. Vampire sighs and rises from the table. I feel bad for you, truthfully. Sooner or later, I'm going to realize you were wrong. I don't know if it's going to happen when I leave this room, or when you get to prison, but it will happen, and when it does, it's going to break you. He heads for the door, grabs the handle, and stops. For what it's worth, I looked into those conspiracies of yours. Some were pretty convincing. They laid it out in easy to understand terms, made sensible links between the vampires, the pyramids, the moon landing. He chuckles to himself. I guess the only problem I had was that at the end of the day, none of their shit stood up to reality. It only made sense in a vacuum. As soon as you looked outside the conspiracy, as soon as you realized how many little lies you needed to be fed to make The big lies seem palatable. Well, that's when the whole facade broke for me. He grips the door frame, shakes his head and laughs. It's more exciting than reality, though. I'll give you that. He exits the room, leaving me alone in his elaborate set. I take a moment to admire the detail in the projector screen, the crispness of the sound system, the smell of fresh coffee. It's impressive. He went to great lengths to pull the wool over my eyes, but unfortunately for him, I'm not a sheep. My eyes find his laptop on the table. I pull it towards me, surprised to find that the internet is still functional. Good. I just needed to update my blog one last time. Let the world know that no matter what insane story the vampires weave, they never fooled me, never fed on me. I know the nukes fell. I know we beat back the psychic assholes. And I know human civilization is in ashes. I also know it's for the best. My family, they were still here, would be proud of me for doing what was right. The only thing I can't quite explain are the blinds. There's something about the way they dance up and down in front of the projection. The open window. The way I can feel the coolness of a breeze that's hard to explain. Part of me wants to get up and check, just to make sure they're fake. But then I think about how pointless that'd be. After all, I already know the truth. Jesus. That got me. Wow, that was insane. April, I'm not reading an erotica. Anyway, if the person is still here, should I read one more? Let's see. Here we go. One last one, and the stream's gonna end for the night. Alright, let's see. This one's by Ashvik V. From Reddit. Alright. I'm a 911 operator. I just had the most terrifying call. These are fun. Bearing this job is kind of a burden because I get calls every day and sometimes it's just stressful. However, last week was busy. There have been numerous UFO sightings here in Michigan, and people have been saying weird things have been occurring, such as a humanoid standing behind trees and just observing. I've always believed that these were just conspiracies started by madmen and probably even the government just to get people's minds off the government's response to the pandemic. At least that's what I thought until now. Now, whatever I'm about to tell you, I'm gonna sound batshit crazy, but I swear it's true. I was sitting on my chair relaxing to some chips because I didn't have time for dinner. Each bite of the chip made echoing noise through the building. As I slowly devour it, listening to the rain outside. Most of my colleagues had already left. I was alone in the building. It was pretty dark outside, and the only thing that illuminated the surroundings was the bright moon and street poles. The day was less busy than usual, and I barely received any calls. I was finally at relief that all the shit that was going on in the town was over. Until the phone began ringing. I quickly answered it, putting my chips down. 911, what's your emergency? Alright, I think there were some people robbing my neighbor's house. I just saw some people break open the door and I think they're looting his place. Alright, sir, can you please tell me your address? Yeah, sure, of course. He proceeded to tell me his address calmly, despite the ongoing robbery next door. Thank you, sir. The police will arrive soon. Please stay on the line till then. Alright. Is your neighbor alright? Or, well, he's on vacation, so there's no one in the house. Alright, sir. Can you describe what the robbers are doing? Yeah, one sec. Listen closely to the noise from his phone, but I couldn't make out anything apart from the occasional loud breathing of the caller. They're just like walking around, I guess? It sort of seems like they're searching for something, but can't find it. Alright, sir. Try to stay low so they don't see you. Yeah, wait, they're leaving the house. A few seconds passed by until I heard his voice again. There are 4 of them. Yeah, it's 4. Can you describe their appearance? Yeah, one sec, let me get closer. I heard the caller shuffle through his house, probably going to a nearby window with a better view. They look off. They look off. Sir, can you be a bit more descriptive than off? Well, I mean, they're tall. All of them are at least 6'8" or something. Alright, that's a start. What are they doing right now? My heart began to pound. How the fuck is someone 6'8"? I knew something was wrong from the way the situation sounded, but I tried to remain as calm as possible. They're saying something to each other. I can hear them murmuring. I don't think they're talking in English. Alright, just try to keep an eye on them and... Shit, I think they're coming this way. Shit, they're coming towards my house. Sir, can you please check all the doors and windows and please make sure they're locked? The adrenaline began to hit. What the fuck was I gonna do? Just sitting here, trying to help this guy till the cops get there. Sir? He didn't respond. Sir, are you with... Yeah, I'm here. All your windows and doors closed. Can you confirm that there is no point of entry for the intruders? Yeah, everything is closed. I don't think they can get in. Alright, sir. Now I need you to listen to me. Yeah, I'm all ears. I could hear his voice trembling. He was scared shitless. Heck, who wouldn't be scared if the robbers were fucking 6'8"? Sir, do you have any place in your house where you can hide? I guess my basement. Alright, sir. Please go to the basement as quiet as possible and don't let them see you. Give me a second. I could hear him moving as the floor made a couple of quiet creaks. I'm in. Alright, sir. Try to be as quiet as possible now. It might be... The sound of a loud crash pierced my ear. I knew something was wrong. This guy was in trouble. Couldn't even give him the assurance that the cops would come in time because the roads were all snowy. Sir? Was that? They're in. They fucking broke into my house. Fuck, I've been doing this job for 2 years. I've never had a call like this. Most of my calls were just normal day-to-day crap except this. Sir, the police are on their way. They should be at your house in 2 minutes. I just need you to... Shit, I think they're checking all the rooms. Sir, please stay where you are until the police arrive. Yeah, alright. Sir, is there any weapon near you? Wait, let me check. I heard him shuffle through the room trying to make no noise. Yeah, there's a baseball bat. Alright, sir. Please try to use that to keep yourself safe in case anything happens. Yeah, okay. A few seconds passed by without us talking. I sat on my chair biting my nails till I heard a sound. I'm sorry. Sir, I could hear him whimpering. probably the worst color you had in a long time. It's like I've shoved you into this situation. Sir, it's my job to do this. I know, but I wouldn't have been having a regular night if it wasn't for me. I paused for some time. He was telling the truth. I would have had a regular Friday. Probably would have gone home in a few minutes and binged to some Netflix. But this was who I am. I save people. I was determined to save this guy. I looked at the screen in front of me, displaying the coordinates of the police and the caller's details. Brody, I promise you that you're going to be safe. I hope so. Thanks for all this. No problem, sir. He went silent for a while. I guess it was probably because the intruders were getting close to the basement. You're trying to open the fucking door! This was it. I had no idea what to do anymore. Sir, please stay calm. I make no noise. They get close to you, just heard a huge thud from the collar. They got in! Fuck. I looked at the coordinates of the police car. It was at the end of the street. Sir, please protect yourself with the bat. Shit, they're looking through the whole basement. They're gonna come my way. Sir, hold on for a couple of seconds. The cops are on there. What the fuck? Sir, their feet ain't touching the ground. My heart dropped. I began imagining a ghost just floating around the basement, but my collar had to be... Sir, please just hang on for a... Oh, they're coming towards me, fuck! He began screaming. I could hear footsteps approaching him. What's wrong with their fucking faces? Everything's pale! Sir, please calm down. I need you to stay... They're not human! The line was cut. The police arrived at his house a couple seconds later, but there was no sign of him. However, they did find a circle shaped and printed on the lawn of the neighbor's house. My collar has been placed on the missing list, but no one has spotted him yet. He's pretty much dead. People think the robbers killed him and hid his body, but I know what happened that night. Those things took him. Oh boy. That was interesting. That really took the turn. It's a good story. The whole alien angle and all that. Alright, well, let me do one more. Yeah, one more's fine. Let's see. Alright. Let's see. Okay. This last was made by Madman. It is entitled, My Mom's Reflection Keeps Smiling at Me. She pulled that face at me again in the reflection of the window above the kitchen sink. It was 6:17 p.m. We had just eaten dinner. It was dark. Mom was washing the dishes with her back toward me. Her reflection glowed against the darkness of the outside. Her lips was rolled back to reveal gum and teeth. Her jaw muscles rippled under wrinkled skin. The corners of her mouth yanked upwards to form a snarling smile. Her eyes bulged from their sockets as if ready to burst. "Mom, please stop, you're scaring me," I said. She turned around, her face exasperated, but otherwise back to normal. Her lips downturned and her tired blue eyes gazing at me with the usual mix of confusion and sadness. She thinks I'm acting out because of the divorce, as if I'm too young to understand when two people have grown to hate each other. At least I'll be able to sleep without hearing their shouts. I told Mom that I think she's having a breakdown because of the divorce. We bickered. I grabbed my laptop and stormed off towards my room. She went back to scrubbing the burnt scum off the frying pan. For a moment I thought she was crying, but the smile in the window told me otherwise. I first noticed the face at 9:08 a.m. We were in the car on the way to swimming lessons when I realized that I'd forgotten my cap. It's a cardinal sin to forget your gear, especially when your mom is the instructor. Her bulbous eyes glared at me through the rear view mirror as she told me what a useless little girl I was. There was nothing funny about what she said, so I couldn't understand why she was pulling that twisted smile at me. At 9:23 a.m. her hand was locked around my wrist as she dragged me through the empty promenade of the Oakville Mall. She had this curt power walk that sent clicking sounds echoing around the shuttered stores. I think she learned it from one of her DVDs that came through the mail. The one with smiling men in their bad tan and cheap suits on the cover. They had titles like Be the Boss and Follow Your Power. Eventually the sporty Wears sign swerved into view. It was the only place that still seemed open. Mom didn't want to risk being recognized as a discount store, as if the teenager behind the counter, the fat, demented old lady wandering the aisles, would know who she was. Like anyone would know who she was, I thought, as she sent me inside with a few bucks. The white fluorescent lights immediately gave me a headache. The stench of synthetic fabric made my mouth taste funny. I sneezed my way down the over-stuffed aisles to the back of the store, where the swim caps hung pathetically on hooks. Mom says my head is considered oversized in the swimming world, so I had to make sure they fit. I liked the green one, but it squeezed at my temples, making my headache worse. No good. The only one that looked big enough was blue. I hate blue, but it slipped on easy enough. I stood in front of the mirror to see how ridiculous I looked. That's when I saw the face again. Have you ever seen those nature documentaries where the apes fight each other to death? Do you notice how they're always smiling? That's all I could think of as the face paced outside this shop, watching me with an ugly grin. Get the pink one so you're matching, it said. I turned around and there was my miserable mother again. She tapped her wrist at me before dramatically throwing her hands up in the air. When I turned back to the mirror, she was smiling again. I could hear her teeth grinding. I reached for the pink cap, diving into one of the most important parts of being a champion swimmer. My mom would always say she knew this because she got silver in the 1998 World Championships, gold in the National. Her coach reckoned she had a solid chance. Then her belly got too big. Turns out the first time she had sex for the first time, a few months beforehand, she and Dad didn't wear protection. Me, the happy accident. I hate diving, I hate swimming, but I hate diving more. I can't get the angle right, and the last time I tried, I scraped my ankle against the board on the way down and almost drowned. About 11:21 a.m. There I was again, shivering on the end of the diving board. The other girls were standing single file behind me and getting real impatient. Whispers traveled easily against the titled walls until they were drowned out by my mom's demands. Her shimmering smile insisted that I dived in. I could see the full spread of her teeth. It was like her skull was mocking me. I just dive in. The other girls are waiting. I was wasting time. Stop pulling that face, I yelled out, my voice loud enough to silence the whispers and demands. Did your dad put up with this? She yelled back. I looked up from the reflection to see my mom, my real mom. Her face tired hard to remain stern, but it couldn't help but let out a single tear. She wiped it after swiftly. He's turning you against me, isn't he? She said. I didn't know what to say, but I was relieved the smile was gone. But it wasn't, was it? It was still there in the reflection when I looked back down. I felt two hands press against my back and shove me forward. The force sent my feet out under me. My body buckled in an attempt to stop me from falling. My hands grabbed the sides of the board, but it was too late. The bottom of my chin scraped against the tip. As I flipped over, and the world turned upside down. Wrapped grin, the warped grin of the face beckoned me into the water. I screamed. My face stung as I hit the water. The taste of chlorine burnt through my sinuses as I sank downwards. I turned my body and saw a white light shining down towards me. It illuminated a glistening trail of blood that wound itself from my chin. Shimmering faces looked down at me from above the water. I realized the face was amongst them. Its smile grew bigger, as if the blood was calling it. The white light exploded as something entered the pool. A dark figure glided towards me with an eerie grace. My lungs tightened and my throat stung. I tried to swim deeper, but the figure was almost on top of me. Thick tendrils of brown hair wrapped around its head as it pulled me close. I tried to push away, but The grip was too tight. Amongst the mess of hair, I saw my mom's face. The real one. She had a typical look of concern, but this time I felt relief too. We were both safe. She pulled me skywards. As I'd been writing this, my mom came into my room with a plate of animal crackers and a glass of milk. She told me that she was sorry and admitted that she's been too hard on me. I don't need to go to those swimming lessons anymore if I don't want to. I tried to bring up the face pulling again, but she took a deep breath and suggested that I go see a therapist. She thinks that maybe the divorce has taken a toll on both of us. But I know what I saw. I know she only pretended to leave the room after she apologized. Why do you think I'm writing this stupid story? I know if I stop writing and turn off the laptop, I'll see her twisted smile reflected in the black screen. I know it's her breath that I can feel on my neck. Mom, please stop. You're scaring me. And on that note, holy crap, and on that note, I think I'm going to end it here. If you want, I can make this a thing every Sunday. Just throw on some ambiance music and just read away. Anyway, thank you for joining the stream. See you all some other time.